Hello everyone, and welcome on back to your notes for the coordinate plane review. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, in the coordinate plane, there's a couple of things we want to identify first. We have this horizontal axis, which runs from left to right. This axis is called the x-axis. Then we also have an axis that runs up and down. This is our vertical axis. And our vertical axis is called the y-axis. Now, where both axes intersect, here in the middle, this point is specifically called the origin, and it has the coordinates 0, 0. We'll talk about what coordinates mean in a moment, but basically, whenever we start counting on the coordinate plane, 0 is always going to be where the x and y axis intersect. Now, we also have four different quadrants or four different areas of the coordinate plane as well. The one in the top right is going to be called quadrant 1, Q1 for short. Then the quadrant in the top left is called quadrant 2 or Q2 for short. And then the one in the bottom left is called Q3, quadrant 3. And last but not least, Q4, quadrant 4 is in the bottom right. Okay, now just like on a regular number line, we're moving along the x-axis, if we go ahead and move to the right, these are where all of the positive x numbers are. And then if we move to the left, then this is where all of the negative numbers are. The same is kind of true for the y-axis. The directions are going to be up for positive and down for negative. Okay, so that just about takes care of all of the different parts of the coordinate plane. Now let's actually talk about the coordinates themselves. So coordinates are always written with parentheses and a comma separating the x-axis, the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate. But this is the order in which we always write coordinates. The x-coordinate comes first, and then the y-coordinate comes next. Again, surrounded by parentheses and separated with a comma. All right, so the x-coordinate once more tells us to go left or right, depending on if it's positive or negative. And the y-coordinate, tells us to go up or down, again, depending on positive or negative. Okay, let's go ahead and now take a look at example 1. They want us to graph the point based on the coordinates below. We're given the coordinates -5, 4. And this is how we also read coordinates. We don't need to say parentheses, -5, comma, 4 parentheses. If we read it as two separate numbers with a pause in between, that's how you let people know that the first number you said is the x-coordinate and the second number is the y-coordinate. All right, so let's go and let's quickly identify that. So again, the -5 is the x-coordinate and the 4 is the y-coordinate. Okay, so when I begin counting, again, I know that I'm going to be starting at the origin, 0, for both the x-axis and the y-axis. Let's take a moment to quickly label our x-axis so that we know which one it is. It's the horizontal one, and the y-axis, the vertical one. Okay, so now I can go ahead and actually start moving along the coordinate plane. I normally always start with the x-axis first, and this time I have a -5, which tells me I'm going to need to move to the left 5 units. So always starting again at the origin, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the left. And then after that, I still have to take care of my y-coordinate. And because my y-coordinate is positive, this tells me I need to go up after going left. So going up 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can go ahead and plot a point. And this is the point with the coordinates -5, 4. Okay, go ahead and pause the video here and see if you can give this one a try on your own. Okay, go ahead and double check over your answers. So once more, the x-coordinate is what we use to count first, and we always start at the origin. Going to the right because I have a +7, and then going down 1 because I have a -1 for the y-coordinate. Okay, in example 2, we need to go ahead and once more graph the point based on the coordinates below. This time, I don't have two values for both x and y. I actually notice that my y-coordinate is 0. So what this is telling me that we do not move up or down. But because my x-coordinate is a -3, I am going to need to move to the left first. So as always, take a moment, let me label my x-axis and my y-axis. And again, 0, we always go ahead and start right where the axes intersect. I'm going to go ahead and go to the left 3 units. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And again, because I do not move up or down, I'm technically done. And this point on the x-axis is -3, 0. So if you happen to see a 0 in either of these coordinates, it just means that we don't need to move in that particular direction. Okay, go ahead and pause the video here and see if you can try this one on your own. Go ahead and double check over your answers. Here we go. This time I see that there's a 0 in the x-coordinate, which means I don't need to go left or right. And I just need to go ahead and go up because I have a +6 for the y-coordinates. Alrighty, that is it for your video notes for the coordinate plane review. Thank you very much for watching.